In this lesson, we're going to be talking about a tool called NetworkMiner. Now, NetworkMiner actually goes and captures traffic from your network, but it also categorizes the information in particular ways that may be useful for forensic investigators or forensic examiners. There is a payware version of NetworkMiner, but there's also this freeware version that you can probably make use of as well. So I've got NetworkMiner here, and I'm actually going to start up a capture on this interface here. And I'm going to go over here and click Start once I've selected the interface. And it's grabbing traffic on the network. If I go to frames, I can start to see different frames coming in, and you'll notice over here on the Hosts tab, I've got two different hosts that have shown up here. So you can start to see the different ways that NetworkMiner helps to make sense of the information from a network capture. Now, in another lesson, we've gone through just doing simple packet captures, and there's a large volume of information that comes in through just a regular packet capture. And yes, I can apply different filters and start to sort the data that way and start to make some sense of it and be able to follow conversations. But NetworkMiner goes a couple of steps beyond that and actually shows different ways of looking at the information. So again, I've got the Hosts tab here, and it shows all of the hosts that have shown up through the packet capture through these 21 frames. And I can just open up a frame here, and I can see that it's a UDP frame. And you can see the length and the source IP, the destination IP, and it looks like this is a universal plug-and-play frame. So there's my destination IP, and you can see that over here, right there. So that's just a multicast frame, which makes sense for universal plug-and-play. Now, I've got this address right here, 1.37, and it shows host details. And you can see that it's pulled some information from the universal plug-and-play data, and it looks like there's a Fedora core system that looks like it's a Sony system that's running Fedora core. And so we can see information about this particular host or this particular system based on the data that has been sent across. So you can start to see some really valuable uses of NetworkMiner just because of the way that it pulls information apart and starts to parse it for you and presents it in a way that you can quickly and easily find the critical pieces. So let me actually open up an Internet Explorer here, and let's just go to, I'm going to go to Microsoft.com, and I don't really care what's there, so I'm going to go back to my NetworkMiner page and see if we can see anything here. And it's not actually pulling any DNS information, although I've got more information about a lot of different systems now. There's a lot more hosts that I have information about based on going to that one web page. And I could go to a website and actually log in, and that would show up here on the credentials page as an example. So you can see the different categories that we've got here in the tab. If there were files being transmitted, you could see the file information here. And let's see if we've got any anomalies. We don't show any anomalies. And how about clear text? You can see the clear text that we were able to find through this network communication, or these various network communications. And a lot of this isn't particularly interesting, may not make a lot of sense to you. But if you were to continue doing this for a while, you may gather a lot of really interesting and useful information. And we could actually do some different searches here. Right here, it's got an application layer, which was the default. I could actually do a complete search and look at full packet data in all packets rather than just application layer packets. And you see that it didn't actually change much of anything for me. So did we find any keywords? Well, here I could add a keyword like, let's say Microsoft, and see if we find it anywhere. And it's not actually pulling that up. But there's a lot of different categories of information. And again, I'm not actually showing a lot of data here just because I haven't been running it long enough or doing enough useful things. But you can see the usage of NetworkMiner. Certainly when you compare it to something like TCP dump or Wireshark, you can see that NetworkMiner is probably a lot easier to pull information out of and get useful data, particularly in the case of where we are looking for critical information for a forensic examination, like images if there were pictures that were being communicated in a way that wasn't encrypted, because of course this isn't going to be able to deal with encrypted communication or encrypted transmission. If there were images that were being passed across the network, we'd actually be able to see those here. So this is NetworkMiner, and again, you can see there's a lot of useful data here that is more easy to pull apart than if you were just using Wireshark or some other packet capture utility.